In the heart of a bustling city, there lived a young, rich man named Obina. His mansion was the epitome of wealth: pools, lavish furniture, and sprawling gardens. Yet, despite everything, Obina felt hollow. Surrounded by beautiful women, he found no one who truly loved him for who he was. They were all attracted to his money, his power, and his status. And that left Obina longing for something real. Obina stands by a large window, gazing out at the twinkling lights of the city. The grand mansion is quiet, the only sound the hum of the city outside. Obina is dressed in an expensive suit, but his expression is one of loneliness. Obina sits down on a plush chair, looking deeply troubled. Obina, softly to himself, "Is there anyone who could love me for who I am, not for my money?" Obina stands, his face determined. He walks to the door and stops. One evening, Obina made a decision that would change the course of his life. He would leave it all behind. The wealth, the luxury, the superficial relationships, it was all too much. He wanted something more. Obina, to his assistant, "Pack my things. We're leaving the city. I will need you to drop me off in the next town and then return to the house. I need to find myself. I need to find real love." Obina arrives at a small, rural urban town, which was about 6 hours' drive from the city where he lived, walking along an untarred road. He is dressed in very cheap, simple clothes, his face a picture of resolve. He walks past simple houses and humble shops, blending in with the local people living in that area. Obina left the comfort of his mansion and traveled to a quiet, small, rural, urban town far from the city. He abandoned his wealth and disguised himself as a poor servant. He hoped to find someone who could love him for who he was, not for what he had. Obina arrives at the gates of Chief Olisei's mansion, an imposing and catchy estate, a magnificent edifice in a small town as this. Inside the mansion, Chief Olisei, a wealthy older man, sits in his study. Obina arrived at the gate and knocked. The gateman opened the gates. "Gateman, who are you and what are you looking for?" Obina answered, "I am here to look for a menial job. I am hungry. I just need a job to survive. Can you please leave this place?" "This is not a place for useless people," says the gateman. Obina and the gateman started some arguments which caught Chief Olisei's attention. "What is going on there? Why the noise?" asked by Chief Olisei. "Sir, it's one strange man. He said he wants a job," the gateman replied to Chief Olisei. "Is that why you people want to bring down the house? Please send him in," Chief Olisei instructed. Obina stands before Chief Olisei, nervous but determined. Chief Olisei, sternly, not recognizing Obina, "Who are you, boy? What do you want?" Obina, bowing respectfully, "Sir, I am just here to look for a job. My name is Obina. I currently need any job as soon as possible so I don't die of hunger. I came into the city knowing no one. I have been roaming around the streets. No help. I saw this house and something tells me to just come in and I may get something to do. Chief Olise, amazed. Okay, we have a need for a new gateman. The current gateman has just secured university admission to further his education. You can be a good replacement. Is that okay for you? If yes, you can start immediately. One of my daughters will show you the boys' quarters where you will be staying. Thank you, sir. I will begin immediately. Obina bows his head as he steps aside, trying to hide the pain of being unrecognized. Obina was given a tour of the house by the housekeeper, who introduced him to all the domestic staff as well as the chief's daughters. As the tour progressed, Ngozi, the eldest daughter, took an interest and politely asked the housekeeper to let her continue showing Obina around. As days turned into weeks and weeks into months, Obina remained steadfast in his duties as the gateman and cleaner at Chief Olise's house. Through every sunrise and sunset, he toiled with quiet resilience, sweeping the floors and guarding the gates, all while enduring the weight of his reality. Yet, no matter how hard he worked, the cruelty never ceased. Adaeze and Chinonso, the chief's two younger daughters, treated him with relentless scorn. Their malice knew no bounds. Mocking words, dismissive glares, and endless humiliation became part of his daily existence. They saw him as nothing more than a lowly servant, unworthy of respect, let alone kindness. But Obina endured. He bore their cruelty in silence, his spirit unbroken, his heart anchored by something greater, the search of true love, and that made every hardship bearable. One faithful day, Chief Olise younger daughters, Adaeze and Chinonso, sit in the living room, their faces full of contempt. They have just returned from a wild night out, wearing tight, revealing clothes, reeking of smoke, and their eyes bloodshot. The air is thick with the smell of alcohol and perfume. Adaeze sat recklessly, her voice rising in frustration as she screamed, "Obina!" "Ma," he answered, barely able to conceal his exhaustion. "Can you come and clean the floor? I've made a mess of this place, and since the housekeeper isn't around, it's your responsibility to do it. I can't clean it for you," she demanded, her tone dismissive. As if that wasn't enough, Chinonso quickly piled on, adding to Obina's burden. "Once you're done with the floor, wash the cars and clean our bedrooms," she instructed, as if she were giving orders to a 12-year-old servant. By the time Obina had finished all the chores, he was drained, his body aching, and his stomach growling with hunger. A few days later, the girls went out again, just as they always did, and returned with their ill-mannered friends in tow, banging on the gate as if they had just been released from a mental home. Adaeze, slurring, "Obina!" Adaeze screamed, her voice sharp with irritation. "Come here and open the gate already so I can get into my house. I have more important things to do with my life." "You're wasting my time," Chinonso, laughing recklessly. "Look at you, standing there like you matter. Hurry up and do your job, you poor servant." Obina rushed to open the gate as instructed,
stood by the gate side and watches in silence, feeling the sting of their words. The two sisters, too caught up in their own world, had little care for anyone or anything beyond their own indulgence. Adaeze and Chinonso lived a life of excess, fueled by their father's wealth. But neither of them knew the value of hard work, responsibility, or kindness. Both had failed in school, and their lives were filled with partying, drugs, and alcohol. Their behavior was a reflection of how little they valued anything beyond material pleasure. As Obina opens the gate for them, their visitors pull up in flashy cars, stopping near him. They look at him with disdain, as they always do, knowing nothing of his true identity. Ogechi, one of the visitors, friend to Adaeze and Chinonso, mocking Obina. "Look at this poor guy. How can anyone stand living like this? My friend, get away from here, Jor, you wretched thing." Chika, the second visitor and a friend to Adaeze and Chinonso, laughing so loud and mocking Obina. "I bet he doesn't even know what real luxury feels like. Yeah, son of a nobody. I don't blame you, boy. I blame your parents. When their mates were hustling, they were busy making babies. See where their foolishness has kept you." The insults continue as the young women throw drinks at Obina, making fun of him for being a wretched man and mere servant. Obina remains silent, his heart heavy with the cruelty, but he knows who he is and what his goals are. One fateful day, Chief Olise's younger brother, Ugo, arrived from the city for a visit. As he reached the gate, Obina opened it, and Ugo eyed him curiously as he walked past. Narrowing his eyes, Ugo tried to place him, sensing there was something familiar about the young man. Ugo, to himself, intrigued. "Wait a minute. That face. I've seen it before. He looks like the son of Chief Chukwudi." Ugo walked back, studying Obina closely. Ugo, raising an eyebrow. "You look familiar, young man. You remind me of someone. A rich young man who inherited his late father's fortune. Chief Chukwudi's son. But that can't be you. He's supposed to be living in the city. There's no way he'd be here, working as a gatekeeper." Obina stands still, trying to hide his true identity. Ugo doesn't press further, but there's a growing suspicion in his mind. Ugo, to himself, "I'll keep an eye on you. There's something about you, something I can't quite figure out yet. How can people look so alike? This is really strange." On a bright morning, Obina is working diligently in the garden, trimming the hedges. Ngozi approaches him with a tray of food. Ngozi, talking gently, "Here, you must be hungry. I brought you some food." Obina looks up at her, surprised by her kindness. Obina, show signs of being grateful. "Thank you, Miss Ngozi. You didn't have to." Ngozi smiles at him. Ngozi, responding softly, "You don't deserve to be treated like this. I know what it's like to be misunderstood." The warm evening breeze rustles through the trees as Ngozi walks past Obina, her heart pounding in her chest. She steals a glance at him, and for a moment, their eyes meet. A spark ignites, subtle yet undeniable. Ngozi had always admired Obina, but recently that admiration had blossomed into something deeper, something she could no longer ignore. She found herself drawn to him, her thoughts consumed by his presence. Obina, too, had noticed. The way she lingered a little longer in conversations, the way her laughter seemed softer,
when she was with him. He felt it, the pull, the connection, and it thrilled him. Late at night, when the world was quiet and the house was asleep, Ngozi would tiptoe down the hall, her heart racing as she reached Obina's door. She would knock, 3 soft taps, and he would always open, a smile playing on his lips.
Obina whispers teasingly, "You're getting bolder, Ngozi." Ngozi, grinning, "And you're always awake, waiting for me."
She slips inside, and they settle onto the small couch in the corner of his room, the dim glow of a bedside lamp casting soft shadows around them. They talked for hours, their voices hushed, but filled with passion. They spoke of life, of dreams, waiting to be chased, of business ventures they hoped to build together, of the education they valued so deeply. Every conversation was rich, full of purpose.
Night after night, their meetings continued. What began as stolen moments turned into an unbreakable bond. Love grew, not just in feeling, but in vision, in ambition. They weren't just dreaming together, they were building something real, something lasting. Ngozi found herself inspired by Obina's drive, and he, in turn, was fueled by her belief in him. Together, they were unstoppable. In the quiet of those nights, Ngozi and Obina were more than just 2 lovers, stealing moments in secrecy. They were 2 souls, bound by a shared vision, weaving dreams of a future they longed to build. Together, with every whispered conversation, every promise exchanged under the cover of darkness, their love grew stronger and unshakable. But while their bond flourished, resentment festered elsewhere. Ngozi's younger sisters, Adeyeze and Chinonso, harbored nothing but disdain for Obina.
Their hatred, irrational and unrelenting, deepened with each passing day. Spiteful and reckless, they took every opportunity to belittle him, treating him with cruelty and disregard, as if his very presence was an offense.
They knew, they knew, that their elder sister had given her heart to Obina, and yet, instead of accepting it, they chose to fuel their bitterness.
Their actions driven by jealousy, arrogance, or perhaps something even darker. But love, true love, does not falter in the face of opposition. And though Adeyeze and Chinonso sought to break him, Obina endured. He endured for Ngozi. Because what they shared was not just romance, it was destiny.
Ugo, Chief Olise's brother, had visited again. After some few months, one evening, Ugo confronts Obina in the garden, his suspicions still lingering. He steps closer to the young man, eyes narrowing. Ugo, firmly with his voice, "Tell me, young man, are you sure you are not the son of Chief Chukwudi, the late famous billionaire?" Obina looks up, startled. He knows he can't hide the truth any longer, but he feels it's not yet time to be known.
Obina, responding softly, "Yes, I get this a lot. Most places I have been to, people mistake me for the son of the late billionaire. But I am not who you think I am. I am just Obina, the son of a nobody, and I am here to do my job."
"Can you excuse me, please? I need to finish with what I was doing."
Ugo had no choice but to let him go. "Okay, Obina, if you say so."
All 3 sisters sat at the dining table. Adeyeze and Chinonso were enraged with Ngozi for not only showing kindness to Obina, but also having the audacity to fall in love with him. They threatened to report her to their parents. Adeyeze, shouting, "Are you out of your mind, Ngozi? You're helping a servant, a poor man. Why are you so shameless? A daughter of one of the richest chiefs in this town, falling for a mere gateman." Chinonso, mocking. You'll regret this, Ngozi. Falling for a man who cleans floors? Unbelievable. Ngozi, defiantly. I'm not ashamed of being kind. If you don't understand that, then that's your problem. The tension in the room is palpable as the younger daughters look at her in disgust. Chief Olise and his wife walked in.
Chief Olise's wife screamed in a loud voice, "What is this I am hearing? I need someone to clarify this immediately."
Ngozi, come here. Are you out of your senses? Asked by Chief Olise's wife. Chief Olise summoned Obina. The family is in the living room. Obina stands, his face filled with determination. Obina, what is this I am hearing? Asked by Chief Olise.
Obina, speaking to the family in a very calm voice, "I am so sorry, Chief, but it's not exactly what you think. I actually came here to work and not to fall in love with your daughter. Everything just happened so quickly, like it was planned, but it's not."
Ngozi is an amazing woman, and you and your wife have raised her so well. I see. Okay, this sounds so funny, but it reminds me of my days, says Chief Olise.
Chief Olise sits in his study, looking at Obina with thoughtful expression. His wife, Oluchi, stands nearby, furious. Oluchi, Mrs. Olise, shouting, "Why are you defending him? He's nothing but a servant." Our gateman, who also doubles as a cleaner, "This is not acceptable, Chief."
Chief Olise, calmly, with authority, "You guys are wrong. When I met your mother, I had nothing. I was a poor man working odd jobs. I built my wealth.
But love is what kept me going. If Ngozi sees something in Obina, then who are we to stop it?"
The next day, the family gathers again. This time, the atmosphere is different. Chief Olise speaks to his daughters, his voice calm but firm.
Chief Olise to his daughters, "I understand your concerns, but love doesn't look at wealth or status. If Ngozi truly loves Obina, we should support her. I didn't come from wealth. I was once poor, just like him."
Mrs. Olise looks conflicted, but says nothing. Adeyeze and Chinonso sit in silence, reluctantly absorbing their father's words. Later that day, Obina fell into deep thought. He felt he had endured enough suffering and made up his mind to speak the truth. He planned to return that night, during dinner, and finally reveal everything. The room is thick with tension as Obina stands before the family. This is the moment to finally let the cat out of the bag.
Obina, addressing the family, his voice steady. "I have something to say, sir." Clears his throat. "I didn't come here by chance. I didn't come as a poor servant to deceive anyone. I came because I wanted to find someone who could love me for who I am and what I am, and not for money.
I came here pretending to be a poor man because I wanted to see if someone could love me for who I truly am, not for what I have. I wanted to live humbly and work as a poor man, hoping to find a woman who would love me despite my circumstances. The truth is, I'm Obina, the son of Chief Chukwudi and the heir to his fortune." He paused, his voice tinged with emotion. "Yes, the late billionaire. I never wanted any woman to know my true worth." The family falls silent, shocked by the revelation. Ngozi looks at him, tears welling in her eyes. Ngozi, smiling and speaking softly, "I knew there was something different about you. I've loved you for who you are, Obina, not for what you have." Ugo, mouth open, eyes wide open in shock, and surprise. I said it. The first time I saw this young man, I knew he looked familiar, but each time I tried to get him, he kept convincing me otherwise. Chief Olise's mood swung unpredictably. He didn't know whether to be angry or happy. I've always known there was something strange about you from the moment you stepped into this house, he began, his voice filled with mixed emotions. I tried to figure it out, but I couldn't. Yet, my spirit accepted you. Perhaps because your father was so good to me. I'm glad I didn't kick you out. I met your father some years ago, but you were a little boy then, which is why I didn't recognize you. I am truly sorry, sir. It was never my intention to lie to anyone, Obina said.
Chief Olise beamed with pride as he shook Obina's hand. I'm truly happy with your decision to find real love. You are, without a doubt, the true son of your father. A broad smile spread across his face, his joy evident.
Obina and Ngozi walk hand in hand through the garden, their love now openly accepted by Chief Olise. The younger daughters, although still hesitant, begin to soften. Chief Olise, from a distance, watching them. Love is a powerful thing. It has the power to break barriers and build bridges. And so, the love that started in the shadows of deception blossomed into something real, something that no amount of wealth or prejudice could destroy. Obina and Ngozi's love story became a lesson to the family, a reminder that love, in its purest form, is not bound by wealth or status. With hearts full of hope and love, their journey was far from over. The story of Obina and his true found love continues as the path ahead holds even more surprises, challenges, and triumphs.
Don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like and share with your friends and family. Be sure to hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to know when we upload new content just for you.